How you guys doing? Welcome aboard the next video. Now today we're going to be doing an unboxing of October's VGM box. Now there are a lot of good things that come out of this box, but there is one thing that has to be brought to attention in this box, and hence the title. We're going to get to that, and if you want to just skip to that part of the video, I will leave the time in the video that you should skip to. So let's go ahead and get this thing started.
Fatality. Get over here! Hadouken! It's me, Mario! Here we go!
So going on and opening up this box for this month's VGM box. Now of course, today we got +2, so we got 5 games to show off today. And of course we got the thank you for your subscription card. And this one I thought was really cool was the do not disturb thing that they gave me. Basically says, do not disturb, my VGM box just arrived. I like that, it's actually really cool, it's interesting. Now the first game that we're going to be getting is Wall Street Kid. Now if you don't know what this game is, trust me, you don't really want to know. If you don't know what Wall Street Kid is, it's a software game, or however you pronounce that developer, that costs about $8 on the market. It's a sequel to a Japanese franchise called The Money Game. So this is The Money Game 2 in Japan, as it's known. Now this is a lot like a puzzle game where you actually control stocks and things of that nature. That is really boring. Very freaking boring. Then you get this old little fart that comes in and tells you what you got to do for each and every single one of your goals in order to get what is, I believe, $600 billion as guaranteed to you as long as you can actually obtain the goals in the stock market that you are required by the game. You have a narcissistic girlfriend that doesn't know when to quit. You meet a multitude of other characters that make no damn sense. You have to spend money while you make money, evidently, on stuff you really don't freaking need. From spending money on cars and vehicles for your girlfriend, all the way up to spending money on a mansion and making bids on an auction. Now I have no idea who actually pushed around this concept in a development game room, or whatever you want to call it, in an office, but this seems like a terrible decision to even try to make this into a game. Only the Japanese would create a game where you need math to win. This is hands down one of the dumbest games I have ever seen. I would not have even bothered trying to get this game. Holy shit. This is ridiculous. So the next game that we got is Karnoff, which is actually made by Data East. It was made in 1987 as a platform arcade game, and was later released onto the NES in 1988. Now Karnoff is a side-scrolling adventure game, just much like most NES games during that time period. But still, it was a pretty good game, and actually quite a bit fun and enjoyable. Now of course it is quite a bit different than what you would typically be used to when it comes to certain games. I mean, you're playing this big bulky dude that seems like he might be from Saudi Arabia or something, who seems to have a chest the size of a freaking planet.
Captain Planet, he's our hero, gonna take pollution down to 0.
But I shouldn't be taking away too much from this game, because it does seem to be a lot of fun. And of course this game goes for about $9 on the market. And a lot of people have actually reviewed it, including in recent time, and it actually got pretty good reviews. The character Karnoff has actually shown up in later games that Data East has actually done, including Bad Dudes vs. Dragon Ninja. In that game, he actually shows up as one of the very first bosses that you fight. Karnoff also later on appeared in the 1994 Neo Geo game Karnoff's Revenge. Karnoff's Revenge was also known as Fighter's History Dynamite. It is not a sequel to the original Karnoff, but the game is a competitive one-on-one fighter in which Karnoff is the final boss. Then the next one we have is a Sega Genesis game called Last Battle. Now it says Last Battle up on the top, not in front, which is kind of weird. Normally you wouldn't see that. Just kidding. Last Last Battle is a side-scrolling martial arts beat-em-up for the Sega, released in 1989 and developed and published by Sega, of course. Usually about $7 to $8. Now here's the thing about this one is, this game is actually fairly fun. It's like any typical side-scroller game. I mean, it reminds me a little bit of Streets of Rage, to be honest. I don't really have much to say about this game because it's just a seemingly generic game that you would see all over the place anyways. Still, it's quite a bit fun. I've played it a little bit. It's actually pretty entertaining. So the next game we got is Jet Force Gemini on the N64. Now this game is a third-person shooter developed and published by Rare in 1999. This game usually goes for about $8. Now, the other thing that you guys should probably know is that if you haven't heard of this game, it's actually quite underrated. And the reason why is because this game is extremely challenging, which is one of its drawbacks for a lot of people that played during that time period in 1999. That was one of the things that really drew people away from this game, was because of how difficult it was. In order to progress through each and every single map, which by the way, the maps were huge, especially for the time period that they were in N64, they were humongous. All 15 of them, if I remember correctly, there were 15 maps and they were huge. And in order to progress from map to map, you had to actually 100% complete every mission on one map just to move to the next one. You had to rescue everyone. If one person died, you had to start the mission all over, which means respawning all the enemies and everything. It was ridiculously hard. So many people would rage quit this game and then come back later to try again and then rage quit again. It was very ridiculously difficult, especially for a game being on the N64. But that was one of the reasons, that was its primary reason why it was so underrated, was because of how difficult it was. But it's still a very good game, and if you guys are looking for some good first-person shooters, this is a really good one to get. So I'm actually really surprised to have learned about this one once I saw it, because I never knew it existed. And Jet Force Gemini, for those that are wondering, does take quite a bit of its inspiration from the Alien series. It takes inspiration from the Star Wars series, from a couple of other fictional things, and they made it a little more cartoonish, kind of like your typical Nintendo games. I mean, you have vehicle combat, I think, a bunch of other things along with it. It's actually pretty entertaining and very interesting. It's quite the challenge. So for those that are really looking for a challenge, you do not need a rumble pack to play this game, surprisingly. So it's actually really cool. Now, last but not least, we are going to go with the one game that I was really excited for when I opened this box, and that is Splinter Cell, the very first one they ever came out with. Splinter Cell Self-Action Redefined was developed by Ubisoft and built with the Unreal Engine 2. This copy is incomplete, it's missing the manual. However, I did find a manual for about 60 cents, so I was able to get one and put it in there. This game loose is about $4. Splinter Cell Stealth Action Redefined is the first Splinter Cell in the series, like I just said. Now we all know about Splinter Cell. It's a stealth game, and during that time period there were many stealth games like it. Metal Gear Solid, which was going on from NES generation to PlayStation to PS2. They've been doing it for a while. And what made this one different was some of the different abilities that you could have. Like doing the splits up into the rafts and all these other things. You had to be very careful of what you did because you couldn't just go around killing people in certain missions. Some missions you actually had to go undetected entirely just to make it through. So this was actually a really good game, and GameSpot had difficulties with this one. They couldn't quite put a 8 on there, so they were just like, it's fun, but not all that great, because there's other games out there that are better. And to be fair, that's true, but I do like the Splinter Cell games, and they are pretty dang good games. And this one really marked it out there for the Tom Clancy games, and that was really awesome. And this is the one where the issue comes from. This is the one where the issue derives. If VGM is watching this, I mean no offense to you guys. I like what you do, but this is not cool. And before I show you, let me just say that you guys sent me Final Fantasy Origins before, Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy II, basically remastered onto the original PlayStation. Now, this disc has like no scratches on it whatsoever. It's in absolutely great condition. It looks fantastic. It plays great. Freaking love it. And that made me so excited to see that. You know, that made me super excited. Especially considering how expensive this game can be. And then you have a $4 game. A $4 game. And there's scratches to high heaven on this SOB. I mean, it's all over the place. I cannot play this SOB at all. I've tried so many different things and oh my god. I mean, really? I mean, it's just a $4 game, yeah, but damn. Jesus, man. Come on now. You should know better than that. You need to tighten it the hell up. This is not right. That's not right. Now, there is a solution to this, and, you know, I kind of figured that they would test out their games before they sent them out. Just pop them in real quick. Okay, it loaded up, and then put it back in the case, send it out the door. Like, I figured that's what was going on there, and I guess not. Or it just slipped through quality control. I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't contacted them about this yet. I'm just letting them know if they do see this, you need to get on that. But what I will say is I can fix this. I am actually putting away some money to be able to get a machine. I can't remember the name of it on the top of my head, but there's a machine I'm saving up for that I will be getting. So when I have cases like this, where the discs just can't read, I'm going to put it in the machine, and what it does is it actually breaks down the CD layer by layer all the way down to where the scratch goes deep. Basically think of it like the Grand Canyon. The very bottom is the base. That is the base of the scratch. And what this machine does is it tears down the layers of the side, the walls, all the way down to that bottom base. And then it smooths and buffers it out. So what you then have is basically a brand new, clean, unscratched disc. Now these machines do work. I've seen them in action. And I've been wanting to get one so I can fix this. But only once I have the machine. I don't have it right now. So this is temporarily a setback for me. But for other people who don't plan on doing those kind of things, who don't plan on getting that kind of machine, they're kind of screwed, man. I mean, that's just messed up. You gotta work on that. It's just not right. But, you know, I know you guys have the best intentions. I'm not trying to belittle you or anything or call you out on anything. I'm just saying, if you're going to do that kind of stuff, and you know I do these videos, I know you guys do. I know I'm not that popular on YouTube, but you know, these videos that I do for the unboxings and VGM, they get quite a bit of views, quite a bit. And they keep going up every week. Because like I said, you know, with the other videos, I had 56 views at the time, now they're close to 100. So I'm just saying, I mean, you know, think about that, think about it. You need to think about that. I mean, you guys aren't RGT. You guys aren't trash. You know what I'm saying? RGT's trash. Just saying. RGT's trash. But, yeah, I mean, it's just unfair. It's just unfair. But like I said, the manual's not a big deal. I got a replacement. I got a replacement manual that I got off of eBay for like 60 cents. And there we go. Complete. So... That's not a big deal. It's only a $4 game. Those manuals are a dime a dozen. They're easy to find. I'm not worried about that. Just like I wasn't worried about this not being complete in box, because complete in box is like $20 freaking. I get that. All I'm saying is if you guys want to sell a good product, make sure your products actually freaking work. And I know you guys know that. I'm not trying to, you know, I'm just saying, be more careful. Be more careful. So closing this out, we are going to be putting together the value of each game. So Wall Street Kid was $8, Karnoff was $9, Last Battle was anywhere between $7 to $8, Jet Force Gemini $8, and of course Splinter Cell was about $4, which gives us a grand total at the low end of $36 and the high end of $37. So like I said, a good rule of thumb, $30 value at the least. And this was anywhere between $36 and $37. So great month. Still have yet to see one under $30 for the exception of one that was $29.40, but that's too close to count as a disappointment. It's not a disappointment. So in conclusion, with the past, I'd say 4 boxes I've gotten from them, they've done a great job. This is the first slip up I've seen so far with the scratch disc not working. Do not deter from that because of it. You know, I'm just letting them know, if they see this, tighten it up. Just tighten it up. Yeah. Okay, you got it. You got it. All right. So I hope you guys like this episode, and just remember to click that like button if you really like what I do. It really helps out with the channel. It really helps me out and gets me out there more, noticed by other people. So as always, remember 22 and stay classy, bros.
Continue.